Today's story is about a shy new girl at an American high school whose dress was ripped by mean bullies in the hallway. But what happens next will shock everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Where are you watching from? Let's get started. It was the first week of school at Jefferson High in sunny Southern California, and the halls were buzzing with the usual mix of excitement and nerves. Students jostled between classes, slamming lockers, laughing and shouting to friends across the crowded corridors. Among the chaos walked Emily Sanders, a quiet, shy 15-year-old who had just moved from a small town in Oregon. She clutched her backpack straps tightly, trying to make herself as invisible as possible. Her long brown hair fell over her shoulders, and her soft, oversized sweater made her feel safe, like a shield against the overwhelming noise and attention. Emily had always been quiet, preferring books, drawing, and martial arts to loud social gatherings. She was new to Jefferson High, and every step she took in the bustling hallway made her feel like every eye was on her. Little did she know, some of those eyes belonged to the school's notorious trio of bullies, Jessica, Brooke, and Mia. They were loud, popular, and feared by nearly everyone, always looking for someone to humiliate to feel bigger themselves. As Emily slowly made her way to her locker, she kept her gaze down, hoping to get to her next class unnoticed. But fate had other plans. Jessica, a tall girl with sharp eyes and a sneer that never left her face, noticed Emily. "Look who's trying to hide in the hallway," she whispered, and immediately the other two girls joined in, laughing cruelly. Before Emily could even react, Brooke yanked at the strap of her backpack while Mia reached out and grabbed the hem of her dress. Within seconds, the girls had ripped her dress, the fabric tearing loudly in the hallway. Emily froze in shock, her face burning red with embarrassment as students around them gasped and whispered. Some tried to intervene, but most just stared, unsure what to do. Emily's hands trembled as she clutched the torn dress, her heart pounding. She felt small, humiliated, and powerless. Tears threatened to spill, but deep down, something she had learned over years of martial arts training began to awaken. She had always been taught that courage wasn't about never feeling fear, it was about acting despite it. As the bullies laughed and mocked her, Emily took a deep breath, remembering her sensei's words, "Strength comes from focus, not anger. Protect yourself, but protect your dignity more." She straightened her back, held her gaze steady, and prepared herself. The hallway, once filled with laughter at her expense, fell silent as she stepped forward. The bullies smirked, thinking she was just another scared girl to intimidate. They had no idea that Emily had spent years practicing karate in a small Oregon dojo, learning discipline, focus, and how to defend herself. What happened next would shock everyone in the hallway and change how they saw Emily forever. Emily's eyes locked on the bullies, her heart still racing but her body ready. Every muscle tensed as she remembered her sensei's training, calm, precise, and controlled. The laughter of Jessica, Brooke, and Mia echoed in the hallway, but it no longer frightened her. Instead, it fueled a quiet determination she had never felt so strongly before. "Think you can humiliate me?" Emily said, her voice soft but firm, carrying across the stunned hallway. The bullies froze for a split second, surprised that this timid girl had actually spoken. Jessica's smirk faltered. "What did you just say?" she snapped, advancing with a menacing grin. Emily didn't answer. She had no time to waste. Years of karate training kicked in automatically. She shifted her weight slightly, her feet sliding into the stance her sensei had drilled into her countless times, balanced, grounded, ready. The bullies lunged forward, thinking it would be easy, but Emily reacted instinctively. Brooke swung a hand toward her face, trying to push her away, while Mia attempted to grab her again. Emily's movements were swift and precise. With a sudden pivot, she stepped aside and extended her arm in a classic karate strike. Her hand connected with Brooke's chest in a perfectly timed karate chop. Brooke stumbled backward, wide-eyed, tripping over her own feet and crashing into the lockers. A collective gasp ran through the hallway. Jessica, enraged, charged toward Emily next, underestimating the skill of the girl she had thought would be easy prey. Emily shifted her weight and delivered another precise strike, not out of anger but out of self-defense. Jessica's forward momentum sent her sprawling onto the floor. Mia, witnessing her friends being knocked back, froze, unsure whether to continue. For a moment, the hallway was completely silent. Students who had been spectators now stared in awe. Emily stood tall, her breathing steady, her eyes calm. The bullies scrambled to their feet, humiliated themselves, their laughter gone, replaced with shock and a little fear. They had underestimated the quiet, shy girl in their hallway. "Leave me alone," Emily said firmly, adjusting her torn dress. Her voice carried confidence now, something no one had ever associated with her before. Slowly, the bullies backed away, realizing that Emily was not someone to be messed with. Other students started to clap, some whispering, "Wow, she's amazing," and "Did you see that karate move?" From that day forward, Emily was no longer invisible in Jefferson High. She earned respect not because she wanted revenge but because she had defended herself with courage, skill, and dignity. The bullies never dared to target her again. She found new friends, some of whom had watched silently from the sidelines that day, now eager to get to know the girl who had stood up for herself with such bravery. Emily walked to her next class with her head held high. The hallway that had once seemed so intimidating was now just a passage between classrooms, a place she could navigate with confidence. She realized that being shy or quiet didn't mean she was weak, it meant she had the strength to surprise those who underestimated her, and more importantly, the courage to stand up for herself when it truly mattered.